Do we have a quorum? Well, no.
All right, are we ready to go?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Sounds like it. That's great. And do we have a quorum?
Yes.
Great. Do I need to be read into the meeting or can I just proceed?
No. You can proceed.
Just
You can
proceed?
proceed. Yes.
I can proceed. Okay, great. Well, welcome, obviously, to the committee members. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedules. And thanks to everyone who will be watching our Finance Committee meeting. And I call to order the NVTA Finance Committee meeting of Thursday, July 9, 2026. We have a couple of action items here and then some discussion and information items. First action item is approval of May 14, 2026 draft meeting summary minutes. Does anyone have any comments about those minutes? Okay, not seeing or hearing any, I'll entertain a motion that they be approved.
So move, Chair Randall.
Thank you, Chair.
Second. Second, Chair Jefferson.
Thank you, Chair. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, any abstentions? Thank you. That item passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is acquisition of legal services for review and draft of the draft grants manual. Mr. Longiel, take us through that. And this was a recommendation, as I recall, from the Council of Councils that has collectively and individually done some fantastic work for us. So, Michael, you want to take it from here?
Thank you. As Chair Snyder mentioned, we reviewed the actual manual at the last meeting, but a question did come up from the Council of Council that since there's so many references to the Code of Virginia, perhaps we would seek an outside counsel's review of the manual. Even before that, though, I just want to emphasize that the manual is a manual. It's not a policy. So it's mostly a procedural document. It has already been reviewed by our external audit firm, and they had their grant specialists take a look at it as well. And of course, the Council did do a legal review at their level with their knowledge. So we were requested to go out and see if we could get an estimate. Christina Ziekman Brown from Alexandria recommended a firm. I talked to that firm. The firm actually presented a proposal which is attached for $25,000 to do a legal review. Learned a lot in that short discussion with them. One of the things I learned is that grants can be very specific to the agency issuing the invitations to apply for them. Of course, as a grants manual, we can't tailor the manual to an individual application when we don't know those parameters. So while we could move forward with the $25,000 for the legal review, we also have the option of, if we have a legal question when an application comes up or when an award comes up, to look for outside counsel to address those specific legal questions. Right now, this review is a general legal review for a manual, not a policy. With that, we kind of restated in the staff report the items covered in the manual, but we also reviewed those at the last meeting, so I won't take your time with that unless there's any questions.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a couple questions?
Of course.
Sorry, but at one point we had a pretty robust discussion about, with all respect to the Council of Councils, about having inside counsel. What happened to that?
It kind of fell by the wayside.
Yeah.
You don't remember that?
I remember.
Okay. Because so I'm assuming that this just would not be what the Council has time to do, because they have like
They don't have familiarity with the
Right,
Code of Federal
right,
Regulations.
and they also have, yeah, they're doing, so, yeah, I, just for these types of moments, at some point, we may want to wrap back around and revisit that issue,
Yes.
because,
Where we left that, and it was few budget cycles ago, we said that we would do some pricing, and before we would issue the RFP, we would come back to the authority. There were some additional conversations, not with the full membership, about whether we should actually move forward with that, but we can definitely do that for the next budget cycle.
yeah, I mean, this is not so much about this item, but MBTA is a, at this point, literally more than multi-million-dollar operation over here. And to not have our own legal counsel is kind of bush league. I mean, that doesn't really make any sense to me. So whenever you want to bring that back up, I'm more than willing to bring that conversation back. And I'm sure Mr. Snyder might bring it back through finance and bring it back. So yeah. Otherwise, I think we have to do for this one. I have no issue with contract.
There's a suggested motion.
Does Mr. Long, you want to make that one?
Sorry.
Mr. Long, you don't make any motions.
Councilmember Snyder, would you like to make the motion?
Well, in city
I have
city
it.
parliamentary procedure, someone other than the chair needs to make a motion.
Okay, I move the Finance Committee authority approve to execute an agreement approved by the Council of Councils with Nosman LLP at a cost of $25,000 to review the grants manual draft and to transfer the cost of the review from the Regional Revenue Fund to the operating fund budget.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing
To bring the
or
item back.
seeing or hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That item passes unanimously. I do think, in terms of our discussion that we, and I'm not sure which committee it should originate in, whether it's finance or the governance committee, but, I hear Chair Randall indicating an interest in the authority, retaining counsel. So, we maybe under other business, we might further discuss what the process might be to get that subject started. Thanks. Go ahead.
I said, or restarted, because we started before and it just kind of fell off. And,
Yeah. Okay. Next item and that item passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda, update to the NVTA investment policy. Ms. Sen.
Thank you, Chair Snyder. To provide a background on the investment policy update, we have updated the authority's investment policy in order to certified nationally by the Government Investment Officers Association and internationally by the Association of Public Treasurers of the United States and Canada by creating the investment policy as a unified document. We have reviewed the certification requirement against the existing policy with representatives of GIOA and APT. The proposed changes primarily includes expanding and elaborating the governance structure, investment procedure, and investment restriction to comply with the GIOA and best practices and model policy. There were no changes as such to the investment practices philosophy or authority's conservative investment approach. The proposed changes includes the following. We have expanded the introduction and the governing authority to state policy's purpose and establish NVTA standing as a political subdivision. We have expanded the investment philosophy section by restating the safety, liquidity, and then yield as the guiding philosophy, with maturities that match to expect cash flows and securities that are generally held until maturity. We have added the standard of prudence and renamed the role of CFO to delegation of authority and investment responsibility, delegating purchases to the investment and debt manager with the final approval retained by the CFO. As per the guidelines of GIOA and Act, we have renamed the Finance Committee as the new Investment Program Oversight Committee, IPOC. We expanded the trade execution detail in a step-by-step operation workflow, from conducting weekly meetings between Mike and myself to broker contact, receiving trade ticket via Bloomberg Beacon, which is the electronic voice trade confirmation, CFO's approval via signature, a custodian notification, settlement confirmation, wire transfer control, and cash flow and maturity management. We have expanded the prohibited investments, which is currently in process, to bar the foreign origin and the foreign currency securities that are regulated outside the US regulatory oversight.
Is it the bond or the bar?
Bar.
Oh.
No foreign currencies.
That wasn't in here already?
Yeah, it's already in the
Oh,
practice.
okay.
This is
They want
expanded.
it stated a little differently.
Okay, okay.
From asset-backed or mortgage-backed securities, repurchase agreements or reverse repurchase agreements. To give a little info on repurchase agreements, it's a short-term agreement, basically to sell securities and repurchase them later at a slightly higher price. We stay away from doing dealings with repurchase or reverse repos only because it's a counterparty credit risk that the other party, if it's a default, then we'll be at a loss. We added and expanded the transaction and calculate parameters. This is again currently practiced and followed by us. It's a 2-bit requirement process between at least 2 brokers. A yield flow tied to the most recent comparable treasury auction. For example, when we buy a security, a 3-year security, we compare the yield of the 3-year security with the 3-year treasury notes. So to assess the spread or in terms of basis points between the 2 securities. A 30-day forward settlement limit, a 2 failed trade cap per broker, book value at purchase allocation. We also added the business continuity section that basically elaborates the authority's anticipated response to unforeseen events that could disrupt the business, updated the diversification maturity section and annual policy review and adoption formalized through the IPOC, which is the finance committee. We have also expanded the glossary section based on the guidelines by the GIOA and AD. With that, I conclude my presentation and happy to take questions. Before that, I want to also show that we have received the investment policy certification by the GIOA.
They liked the draft so much, they went ahead and certified
This is
it.
based on the already established principles that we had on the policy.
Thank you, Ms. Sen. Question, has our outside auditing firm taken a look at this, or has this been validated by any outside experts?
Got the certification.
The certification is the outside experts,
That's it.
and the auditors look at the investment policy as part of every audit to make sure that we're complying with it.
So is that a yes, an answer to my question? I didn't hear all that clearly. Yeah? Okay, so it's been certified and
Mr. Chair.
reviewed? Yeah, go
I was gonna
ahead.
say, it's also on page 8, internal and external audit in the red line version. So if you want to take a look at that as well.
I can make a motion and ask my question inside the motion as part of the discussion of the motion.
Please do.
Okay. I move the finance committee recommend authority approval of the proposed policy 13 investment policy updates as detailed in the attachment and attached draft.
I second.
Mr. Snyder, is it okay if I ask questions inside of the motion?
Oh, absolutely. Please do.
Okay, thank you. First of all, this is a lot. It's like a red pen just threw up on the pages over. It's a lot. I think the glossary, that part is really funny, to be quite honest, kind of funny. My only actual question, I'm not sure what page is on electronically, but the hard page is page 21, the investment policy review, revision and adoptions. I don't quite understand this sentence after the word, however, so, because we crossed out the designated official CFO. So, and we didn't cross out CFO. So it just means the designated CFO. So I don't understand what's happening here.
They wanted greater clarity on that the CFO can further restrict investments, but not expand them. So in other words, some time ago, even if a security that was issued by a US bank, but if it had ties to China, several years ago, we stopped investing in those because of the ties to China. So we further restricted it as a practice.
Okay, and no one, and the CFO, it cannot be anybody else who's designated, just the CFO.
Further
Just
restriction.
to further, for the purpose of further restricting. Okay, all right, got it.
The reason for all the red line is we had a lot of this information and we have it in other policies. But when we took the policy out for certification, they don't want to go shopping through our website to find all of those policies. They want to see them. in the investment.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's just a lot. It's a lot.
Ms. Sin put a lot of time in this.
You absolutely did.
And we were especially tickled. We sent the draft through to see what their feelings on it would be. We didn't expect to get the certification back. The international certification has made it clear they won't do that. So we need to get the policy adopted by the authority before we can apply to them.
Okay, so that answers my question. We're actually preparing a document for certification. Is that what I'm hearing then?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, so in essence, we're preparing a document, having it approved in order to get certification.
Yes, although we did get one certification just based on the draft.
Okay,
Based on prior policies.
okay. And if this is approved by the Finance Committee tonight, when will it appear before the authority?
The next meeting in September.
Right, okay, so in the meantime, I would urge any of the jurisdictions to have their chief finance officers take a look at this, because as Chair Randall said, there's a lot in here. And it would be useful to have a lot of eyes on it to just make sure, because the investment area is something, it doesn't need me to say it, is hugely important to the authority. So that would be my suggestion, that the minutes reflect that we're strongly recommending that the chief financial officers of the jurisdictions take a look at this between now and the next meeting, just as a further set of eyes.
I can certainly do that, but
I'm sorry, if I may, Chair Snyder, I just want to interject. I had a chance to look this over. First of all, I think this is an excellent job because they've clarified a lot of things. It
Yeah.
is perhaps dense reading for some. If people are, I don't necessarily feel it needs to be a requirement for each county's or each jurisdiction's chief financial officer look at this. I think it just takes, for me at least, I have a background, a little bit of information, a background in finance, just some time to read it through. They're adding a lot of things that give greater clarity, and I think make it more transparent. Particularly, as Chair Randall noted, the prohibited investments and transactions, it spells out a lot of things that we're not doing. Now, some of them, I don't think we can do anyways, like buying the foreign stocks. But that level of clarity and transparency, I think for people who are not necessarily familiar, if they read through this, they understand. I also like securities outside of US regulatory oversight. That answers like cryptocurrency, for example. That's a big thing now. I don't know why, but it is. So
I don't understand it. I think it's monopoly money.
it also hides a lot of corruption, a lot of other things. But I just want to make sure that I complimented staff on this, because I thought this was excellent. I thought it was an amazing job. And, I guess for each jurisdiction, it depends on your comfort level with passing this along. But this is amazing work.
Mhm. Yeah, I didn't imply that it wasn't, but it's just because of the fundamental importance of it and the relative complexity and technicality of it, that if, and again, it would be totally voluntary, but the suggestion would be for one last look by chief financial officers of the jurisdictions, if the jurisdictions care to engage in that. That's all.
If I may, I would mostly associate myself with Chair Jefferson's comments. I think that you can send it to the CFOs or whomever heads the finance departments of the localities. Please copy the authority member. And if they want to read it, they can read it. They can read it. I mean, you've already got the certification. I mean, it's already
Yeah.
there, so it's already done. And you're sitting at the highest bond rating you can sit at. So I don't think anyone. But these are one of these things that it's better to offer it, even if they don't want it, than to not offer it. That's what I would say, and give them and say that if you have any issues, which doesn't matter, to try to get certification, but if they have any issues, they'll let you know within 5 days or whatever, and I bet you will not get one single response. But sometimes you just do it. That's what I would say. And also, if you send it out, say, and we already have the service. Yeah, I would say that too. And
Okay,
now also, if anyone that's ever met you all, they would know it's fine because you guys,
Yeah.
they would know how incredibly thorough you are.
thanks. Any further discussion? Okay, not seeing or hearing, I'd entertain a motion on this item.
Oh, the motion, that was we discussion it within the motion. The motion has been made and second. I made the motion, Chair Jefferson, second the motion. So we're ready for a vote, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. That item passes unanimously, and that is to recommend authority approval at the next authority meeting. Thanks very much. Next item on the agenda is Leesburg Route 15 bypass cancellation. Mr. Longi.
Thank you, Chair Snyder. I do want to note, you may not have been able to see that Mayor Burke is with us this evening, but I'll work through the staff report. Essentially, the town of Leesburg wishes to withdraw this project, and we worked on that wording withdrawal, quite frankly, because it appears they do want to come back and reapply in the future. To work through the process here, the authority has approved 3 SPAs. 2 of those are closed out and fully reimbursed to the town. 1 is partially reimbursed. Staff is recommending that the first 2 SPAs, which were for studies, we do not request the town to reimburse us for, because at the time, studies were, the authority would fund studies. Subsequent to that, the authority stopped funding studies. Essentially, the history of this project, which starts with the background, is NVTA staff stopped making reimbursements in September 2024 when we saw through the reimbursements that were coming in that the project's future was in doubt. The project's the future of the project is not its utility, it's rising cost. It has grown from 185 million to 240 million. And again, the authority has so far put approximately, the last SPA was $5 million for design work. The authority, Loudoun County, VDOT, and town staff have worked very diligently over the years, have had numerous formal and informal meetings to look for ways and strategies to reduce the cost. The town has also applied for Smart Scale and mega grants with the state and was not successful. Likewise, they have sought additional funding from NVTA through 2 funding programs. The project did not receive a staff recommendation, again, mostly because of the cost of the project reduced its congestion reduction relative to cost. So clearly, a lot more work on preparation needs to be done with this, and the town is proactively asking for withdrawal in order to be able to reprioritize this with themselves, obviously do more collaboration with VDOT and the county, and then come back for a future application in the future.
Thanks
With
very
that-
much. Do any committee members have any questions or comments? How about Mayor Burke? Do you have any comments?
Well, I would just say that that was a very good summary of what's been happening. we would love to be able to do this project, but right now, the funding is not there and it's going to be a while before we get to that point. So we wanted to make sure that that members understand that we're not stopping, we're not canceling it. We're stopping it to redesign it, to reconsider how can we make it less expensive and meet the ratio that you need. So we're very grateful for all the work that VDOT and NVTA and Loudoun County have done working with the town, and appreciate everybody's effort to find this solution. And we're extremely grateful.
Okay, thanks very much. Any other questions or comments?
Now, I just want to say, well, it's different than what we did in Prince William County with Route 28. I certainly understand, and obviously I'm going to support this because you know your jurisdiction better than I do. Although I may know the Leesburg outlets better than you know your jurisdiction better.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question, Chair, if I can.
Of course.
So in the purpose in here, it says with a higher current priority, the reason. And when you talk, it's more about money. So I just want to make sure it's clear. I mean,
It's really basically equal because, we're spending so much time and effort trying to get this funding and not being successful at it. That there are other priorities that we most certainly are also looking at.
it's stated. Thank you.
I'll make a motion and speak inside the motion. Mr. Stigers and the chairman signed that. Is that okay if I make
Please
the
do.
motion and speak
Yep,
inside the
please
motion?
do. Please do.
I move the Finance Committee recommended the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority closeout SPA 2018-55-3. Take the following actions. Waive reimbursement for SPA 2014-55-1, 2015-55-2, and all interest on reimbursement funds. Collect from the town of Leesburg, $2,924,667, and reimbursement expenses for SBA 2018-55-3, and reclassify all non-dispersed and reimbursed funds related to the project as uncommitted within the Regional Revenue Fund.
Second.
Thank you.
So discussion, I'm sorry.
I wasn't going to ask Chair Randall to repeat the motion, so fine. It was a long
Do you
one.
want me to repeat the motion?
No, I was just, no, of course not.
Okay.
Messing with you.
I would say that I'm going to respectfully disagree with Chair Jefferson. There is nobody in America who knows Leesburg Outlet better than me. I can absolutely guarantee you all that. You let me know.
I'm compared to her.
I'll take it with me on Black Friday, where I start off with the Leesburg Outlet. I want to say, Leesburg has been working to figure this out for a long time, and I really appreciate the work from Mayor Burke, the town council, the town manager, Kai Dindler, especially from MBTA that have had multiple meetings with the town. And then the town has also kept the county abreast and informed of what's going on. This has been a lot. It's been complicated. It's been unfortunate because, as I said, it's not for, as Mr. Lungi said, utility, but for cost. And the costs are just out of anyone's, no, we can't control those costs. And quite frankly, it's a wonder when they will ever come down or even just level off at this point. And so we're all going to be trying to figure this out as we go on, as what MBTA can do, what counties and towns and cities can afford, and all those types of things. I do think that this was a really straightforward and responsible way for Leesburg to handle this, to come in and say that we're going to withdraw it themselves. It's not messy. It's not. I mean, it just is what it is. The cost just ballooned, and they weren't able to do it. And so it's more of a pause for now until later, and hopefully later can actually come. But I do think, Mayor Burke, you guys have done a really good job in Leesburg on this.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, I think a motion has been made and seconded. Am I right? I think so, right? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? That item passes unanimously. On to the discussion and information items, Mr. Longi.
Yes, the first item is finance team activities. We normally give a brief update on the team's activities when we haven't met in a while, and there won't be another meeting obviously till September. We just discussed the investment policy award. The audit, I sent an email to the committee members. Remember, the finance committee is also the authority's audit committee. And I sent an email containing the audit kickoff letters on June 12th. The key part of that email, and there'll be further discussions with Chair Snyder and the audit partner, is to make sure that you as a committee and individual authority members have access to the auditors without having to go through Ms. Bachman, myself, or any other NVTA staff. So we will keep going with that. The audit process itself has actually been going on for months and is going smoothly so far. Any questions on the audit? Okay, we are working on 2 additional policies. I hate to have to tell you. One is cybersecurity and the other is artificial intelligence. The cybersecurity policy and artificial intelligence are required by our insurance carrier. We use the Virginia Risk Sharing Association, which is a cooperative that is sponsored by the Virginia Municipal League. And cybersecurity has gotten to be such a big issue of late. AI is also becoming such a big issue. I will note the cybersecurity policy will not be able to be discussed in public because it tells you what we do to prevent it. And it also tells us how we will react if it does happen. So it'll be a very closed document. And again, we expect to bring both of those forward in September. That is the update. Ms. Sen can.
Any questions for Michael on that action item? Or I'm sorry, discussion item number 6.
Not question, but comment. When Loudon for the past 2 years have gone to our credit rating meeting, and the number one thing that the rating agencies have taken the longest time to speak to us about is cybersecurity measures. It has become what will move your credit rating one way or the other because of so much that is going on. So it is prudent to do this right now.
And these are first-time policies for us.
Yeah, it is very prudent to do it because you can literally get your credit rating downgraded just on not having strong cybersecurity measures in place.
Yep, thanks for that. Totally agree. Any other questions, comments on that one? Okay, agenda item number 7, monthly investment portfolio report. Ms. Sen?
Thank you, Chair Snyder. I want to just bring your attention to the chart. Basically, the chart is a comparison chart that tracks between the 2 benchmarks. And so we are outperforming both the benchmarks, the ICE-BOFA by 52 basis points and the LGIP extended maturity by 42 basis points. With that, I want to conclude my presentation.
Okay, thank you. Any questions there? Okay, not seeing any. Next item on the agenda, item number 8, monthly revenue report. Michael?
Yes, we'll quickly go to attachment A on the revenue report. And if you look down at the lower right corner of the chart, and it's on the screen, we have an estimate of just under $470 million, and we're only off by 0.83%. So the authority adopted at the last meeting, adopted revenue estimates in PAYGO. I just want to give you some comfort knowing that we are very close to the end of the fiscal year. For revenue posting purposes, we still have 2 more months of sales tax, and we are pretty spot on close to our revenue estimate. That current miss of 3.9 million will be more than made up, and I'll steal a little more of Ms. Sen's thunder, by the $86.9 million that doesn't show on this chart, but that the authority has earned in its investment portfolio.
Okay.
I'll leave revenue with that. If
All
there are any
right.
questions, I'll be
Okay, any other questions? Nice to end on a positive note. Thank you, Michael. Monthly operating budget report.
We have utilized 79% of the budget through 92% of the fiscal year, and we don't anticipate requesting any changes in it. That, a lot of that difference is just expenses that haven't materialized.
Okay, any questions on that one? Okay, not seeing or hearing any. Agenda item number 10, NVTA update. CEO Backman.
No report, Mr. Chair. I will share with the full authority.
Okay, thanks. Does anyone have anything else that they want to bring up before the Finance Committee tonight? Okay, not hearing or seeing any, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second? And all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? The committee is adjourned. Thank you very much to everyone who participated, especially thank you to staff. And we'll move now later on to the authority meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you.